Good morning, and thank you for choosing NYNJPA Weather as your weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm meteorologist Stephen DiMartino. The cold front that produced numerous severe thunderstorms with significant wind damage throughout much of the Northern Mid-Atlantic is now moving off the coast, and in its place, high pressure is slowly taking control. This high pressure system is going to eventually build to the southeast, and that means one thing and one thing only. We are going to warm up big time. Let's take a look at the water vapor satellite picture. The water vapor this morning is showing a ridge is starting to build over the southeast. Now, as this cold front continues to move to the east, our high pressure center is going to drop to the southwest where the best convergence is aloft. As a result, we get southwesterly winds not only at the surface but also at 500 millibars, which basically means the entire atmosphere is warming up, which is great news if you still want to hang on to summer, because temperatures are going to warm up big time starting this afternoon with temperatures around 80s, basically upper 70s to lower 80s for many locations for highs this afternoon. However, tomorrow and Saturday is when we really warm up with temperatures in the upper 80s for New York City and Philadelphia. It's going to be more like summer than it is going to be late September. So we go over to fall, first full day of fall, and we actually end up with summer-like temperatures. However, these conditions will not last long. We have a cold front that is developing over the west and it's producing numerous showers and thunderstorms over the plains. That cold front will lift to the northeast and will move through the northern Atlantic on Saturday night. However, I do not expect much in the way of strong to severe thunderstorms at this time, as it looks like the best dynamics will remain over New England and to the north. And the timing of this cold front appears to be more late Saturday evening when the atmosphere is usually more stable. But we'll keep an eye on it. Now, there's a disturbance that's all the way up around British Columbia. That disturbance we're going to have to keep an eye on, because that disturbance is expected to become an upper level low that is going to impact our pattern for the next several days. Let's take a look at the European model guidance. Okay, this is the European model guidance from the Penn State EWOL website, an excellent website for any type of meteorological information, for model data, satellites, you name it, they got it. It's excellent. Now, this disturbance is going to dive south through the northern plains, and notice how it's starting to become cut off from the rest of the polar jet stream. The polar jet streams remain to the north. It's saying, hey, we have a positive EPO pattern. I'm staying north, and it's going to warm up throughout much of America. Except that it won't, because that disturbance that's diving south is going to produce a very cool pattern for at least the East Coast. Let's take a look at the surface map. At the surface, you can see an area of low pressure starting to develop along the cold front that just passed to our south and east. So basically, the cold front's going to stall. We have a high pressure center over the Atlantic. We have another high pressure center that's over Ontario, and that high pressure center is going to be very important, because as our upper level disturbance dives south, we're going to get waves of low pressure developing along the cold front, and our high pressure is going to move towards New England. When we move to 500 millibars again on Sunday night, we can see our upper level low diving south. Now, it's what we call a positive tilt, which basically means that winds are coming from the southwest at 500 millibars. But let's take a look at the surface real fast on Sunday night. Notice where our high pressure center is. We have our high pressure just to the north of Maine. We have our low pressure and a cold front wavering around the mid-Atlantic, and that produces an easterly wind. So on Sunday, I'm expecting clouds to increase, scattered showers to increase in coverage, because we're having a fetch coming in from the Atlantic, which is a big deal because it keeps us cooler than what we could have been if this upper level low did not exist. This upper level low did not dive south, then we'd be in a huge ridge and temperatures would remain in the 70s, 80s, possibly even lower 90s for the Philadelphia metro area. However, because of this upper level low, we have a pattern that sets up where air is coming off the Atlantic, and that's called a marine environment. And then we go through a key change on by Monday morning and into Monday evening. Our upper level low is basically stuck over the Tennessee River Valley, and the reason why is because the upper level ridge that's over the Atlantic will not let it move any further east. So it tilts negative, waits for another disturbance to dive south over the southern plains, and as a result, the winds at the upper levels start to shift to the southeast, and now you have southeasterly to easterly winds at all levels of the atmosphere. So you're pulling in moisture from the Atlantic at all levels of the atmosphere, and that produces overcast skies, scattered showers, possibly some heavier downpours and just basically a cool, wet, raw day. Instead of temperatures in the 80s under this type of pattern without the upper level low, you're stuck around 70. And then at the surface, our low pressure center is starting to lift north. That's their main low pressure center. Notice that the isobars are all packed going from basically southeast to northwest, which means we're going to have a southeasterly wind driving in a marine air mass. So look for cool, wet, raw conditions on Monday. Finally, by the middle of the week, this upper level low breaks down. The upper level low starts to lift north. The trough starts to lift north. And as a result, our storm starts to get kicked out into the St. Lawrence River Valley. So we're going to have a potential to clear out on Tuesday evening, but we're still going to be under an influence of disturbances keeping scattered showers in the forecast. Now, I just want to bring this up, just as a passing note. What you have down there is around the Caribbean, just to the south of Cuba, is the forecasted Hurricane Matthew. Now, the model guidance, various model guidance, is now taking whatever is developing in the Caribbean right now and drives it up into the eastern Gulf of Mexico and then up the East Coast. Is it a viable solution? Yes, it is. And the reason why is because of the development of another trough into the Mississippi River Valley and our ridge remaining strong over the Atlantic, and that would produce a corridor that would drive any type of tropical system that develops around Cuba to the north up the coast. However, I want to stress that there is a lot we don't know about this disturbance, how well it develops, how much moisture it has, whether it interacts with the upper level trough or if it remains separate and it stays off the coast. A lot we don't know. Just keep in mind that this disturbance could become a big deal towards the end of next week, possibly as a heavy rainmaker for much of the East Coast. Just something to keep an eye on out there. Thank you for choosing NYNJPA Weather as your weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm meteorologist Stephen DiMartino. Have an excellent day.